Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear honorable audience, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and good afternoon. We are group 6. My name is Marzuk Rashid. My other group members are Golam, Rasul and Ayman, Amin. Inshallah, today we are going to present the life history of Khalid bin Walid anhu's life history. Khalid bin Walid anhu was a 7th century Arab military commander. He initially headed campaigns against the Muslims on behalf of the Quraysh. He later became a Muslim and spent his remaining life with Prophet Muhammad and the two first Rashid successors, Abu Bakr and Umar. There was a soldier, there was a commander, there was a conqueror. He crushed the superpowers of his time. He crushed the Persian Empire. He crushed the Romans. He conquered Iraq. He conquered Iran. He conquered Armenia. He conquered Jordan. He conquered Syria. He was an undefeated commander. He was an undefeated ruler. This is Khalid bin Walid anhu, the sword of Allah. Introduction. Khalid bin Walid full name was Abu Sulaiman Khalid ibn al-Walid ibn al-Mughira al-Makhzumi anhu, was born in the year 592 CE in Mecca and he died in the year 642 CE in Syria. Khalid bin Walid anhu's father's name was Walid ibn al-Mughira, who was the sheikh of the Banu Makhzum. Khalid's mother was Lubaba al-Shugra bint al-Harith. Soon after his birth, according to the tradition of the Quraysh, Khalid bin Walid anhu was sent to a Bedouin tribe where a foster mother took his care and nursed him in the clear, dry and unpolluted air of the desert. At the age of 5 or 6, Khalid bin Walid anhu came back to his parents in Mecca. In childhood, Khalid bin Walid anhu suffered by mild smallpox. He survived, but it left some pock marks on his left cheek. The three leading clans at that time were Banu Hashim, Banu Abd and Banu Makhzum. As a member of the Quraysh, Khalid was trained to ride and use the weapons such as the lance, the spear, the bow, and the sword. The lance was said to be his favorite weapon amongst all. In the youth, Khalid was renowned as a warrior and a wrestler. Khalid bin Walid anhu was a cousin of Umar bin Khattab anhu. Al-Walid, Khalid's father, was a very rich man and very wealthy. During childhood, Khalid bin Walid anhu was trained in skills of battles. In a tall stature, he was courageous, smart and sharp-minded. Thank you all for listening to my speech. Now I invite our second speaker, Golam Rasul, for his part.
Dear honorable presidents, audience and chief guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Golam Rasul and now I will be sharing his acceptance of Islam and military skills. After the Prophet migrated to Medina, Muslims fought against the Quraysh. Khalid bin Walid did not participate in the first battle, Badr. In the second battle, known as the Battle of Uhud, Khalid bin Walid was the commander of the house army of the Quraysh. Let us begin from the moment when his heart was affected by Almighty Allah and his spirit was blessed by the Most Merciful. Thus it overflowed with devotion to his religion, his prophet, and to a memorable martyrdom in the way of truth. One day, Khalid bin Walid sat alone in deep thought concerning that particular religion that was gaining momentum day by day. He wished that Allah, the all-knower of what is hidden and unseen, would guide him to the right path. He arrived at Medina on the first day of Safar, on the 8th of the Hijri. As soon as he laid his eyes on the Prophet, he said, "Peace be upon the Prophet," and greeted him with a bright face. Immediately he declared his acceptance of Islam and bore witness to the truth. Finally, the Prophet said, "I knew you had an open mind, and I prayed that it would lead you to safety." Khalid bin Walid took his oath of allegiance and asked, "Please ask Allah's forgiveness for me for all the wrongdoings I have committed to hinder men from the path of Allah." Prophet Muhammad ﷺ informed him that Allah is the most merciful and prayed for his mercy. Leadership and military skills. There is no single leadership style for Khalid. He always changed it according to the situation. But there was one style that Khalid used so much. It was his self-belief and self-confidence in his leadership. He had farsightedness in putting strategic plans and tactics. He invented a lot of them, or the Arabs haven't heard or practiced anything of his tactics. And here are some of the tactics in which he used. Khalid is said to have fought around 100 battles, both major battles, minor combats, as well as single duels during his military career. The commands he held are Field Commander in Najd and Yamama, Supreme Commander of Muslim armies in Syria, Military Governor of Kinasri, and many more commands. In the battles and wars he fought against Muslims are the Battle of Uhud and the Battle of Trench. For Muslims, he fought the Battle of Mu'tah, Conquest of Makkah, Battle of Hunayn, Ridda Wars, and the Muslim conquest of Syria, and many more battles. With blessings from Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he earned the title Saifullah, Sword of Almighty Allah. He was a leader who initiated tactical moves in every battle and led his troops from the front. His name instilled fear in all the neighboring Arabic states, as well as to Iran, Persia, and as far as Rome, Byzantine, who were the superpowers of that time. In the Battle of Mu'tah, he stepped forward and took charge of the Muslim army for the first time. With his exceptional skills, he successfully commanded a protective withdrawal. During this battle, he broke 9 swords. The Prophet came to know about Khalid's combat skills and awarded him Saifullah, Sword of Almighty Allah. After the death of the Prophet, Khalid recaptured a number of provinces that were breaking away of Islam. Now I invite our third speaker, Ayman Amin, for his part. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Golam Rasul. Now I shall discuss his life when he was replaced from command, his last stage, conclusion and lesson learned. Officially replaced from command, the new Khalifa Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu removed him from command of the army. It was a unique incident. He was a so powerful warrior that he used to win all the battles. So what happened? People started feeling that Khalid bin Walid was very high in rank, raising him higher than he actually was. That was the fear of Khalifa Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu, that people must start worshipping him. So Khalifa Umar radiallahu anhu sent Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah to replace him. Yet he remained the effective leader of the forces facing the Byzantine armies in Syria and Palestine. Last stage. Khalid bin al-Walid radiallahu anhu died on his bed in 642. It was his wish to be martyred in battle. This was a tragedy for him to die on his bed. Once he said to himself, "There is not a part in my body where there is no one. Yet I'm dying like an ordinary man." It is believed by scholars that Khalid bin Walid radiallahu anhu died a natural death because he was the sword of Allah, and it was not possible to kill him in the battlefield, as the sword of Allah cannot be broken. This unbeatable warrior was buried along with his son in the Mosque of Homs in Syria. Conclusion. Khalid ibn al-Walid was known as Saif Allah, Sword of Allah. He was a Rashidun military general who led the Muslim conquest of Syria the 7th century. He was famous for his military success as he commanded the forces of Muhammad and of his Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and of his successors Khalifa Abu Bakr and Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. He was undefeated in over 100 battles against enemies. Therefore, he is regarded as one of the finest military commanders in history. Lessons learned. Despite his position as a commander, Khalid bin Walid was so modest that if you had seen him, you would not have distinguished him from among his soldiers. Yet at the same time, you would have known at once that he must be the commander, simply from the way he shouldered responsibilities and set himself with good examples. Simplicity, courage, and unending desire to do better are some of the lessons we can learn from the great life of Hazrat Khalid bin Walid radiallahu anhu. May Allah grant us the capability to be humble and courageous like Hazrat Khalid bin Walid radiallahu anhu, to establish justice and peace in the society. Thank you very much for your kind patience. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Miles away, oceans apart, never in my sight, but always in my heart. The love is always there, it will never die. Only